So this is made just to send once for that 4-week unit. And these are the languages that we have. Hopefully those languages fit your needs. You see I just clicked, and then all you do is click download. Now, let me just say this. Anytime you see add to assignment, I'm going to tell you about this and then I'll give you my 2 cents. You can add this to the student screen. Okay? I don't know how many of your students go on and check assignments, but do they all have the capability to do that? So, you know, I'm always on the fence. If everyone doesn't have the capability, do I want to start loading assignments? Is it fair for everyone or those that don't have it or whatever? So, but you could add it to your assignment. You would create assignment, whatever. I'm going to say when it's due. I don't really care. Next. Okay, now when you have students, they would all be here. Okay, so I'm just going to say, that's the name of that student. Student second. That's his name. I'm going to add him. And see how it kind of walks you through? You don't have to remember it because there's really nothing else to click on that page. It's not confusing because that's my only thing to click. I don't have all these choices where I'm going to forget. That's what I like about the website. And that's what I wanted, was that English newsletter. And I save it and close. And so that's what I call it, so sorry. But that will show up. Whoops, I think I just clicked on it. That will show up on the student assignment. Go away.
And that would be like a, if it was a one-on-one, or if they had some kind of a you need a device to access the assignment.
Correct.
Right?
Yes, so then you can determine how much or how little you want to utilize that.
Could that be, so that we could assign that to them if they logged in on a tablet?
Correct.
And they could do it as a station.
Correct,
also.
because each student will get an individual login. So if you want to assign the practice masters, you could, but they can't type on them because they're PDFs. But you could assign them as a backup, you know what I mean? Like if they're at home and they don't have their homework, if you wanted to do it that way. But you know what I mean? They can't type on them. This isn't like a Google Classroom or anything. So yeah, you guys just need to think about how you want to.
We can, if it's a PDF, we can put it into Seesaw, and then we can write on it.
Yes. Yeah, so you could do it that way.
So
up to you.
So those of you who use Seesaw, you could, but you'd have to download it at your teacher station and then add it to Seesaw.
But that's easy to do.
But would it be on their
But
pay?
then it wouldn't be an assignment, you might as well just have the PDF and.
Right, it wouldn't be on their page within National Geographic though.
No, but
You see what I mean?
But this, you could teach the student how to do it.
Yeah, so however you guys want to work that, there's a lot of things you could do with it.
One assumes immediately.
The homework assignment was the newsletter. I didn't do that short vowel thing, someone else was under my name and did that.
I said I can take care of it, so I did.
Yeah.
Is there any way that that family letter, instead of like chopping down 20 trees, Dan could just put it on our district-wide, this is week 1, to parents so that they could click in and read it versus all of us are running it off?
Send it on a newsletter
Yeah.
directly to a parent.
yeah, I would never run this off. And
Campus messenger.
You want a
But
campus messenger.
could you put that on there versus, I think that would be a wonderful tool if parents really needed to want it.
Campus Messenger also great parents that.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah, I would just, Johanna does that all the time.
Everybody has.
We just would need to tell Johanna that, you know, hey, we're ready for Unit 2, second grade newsletter, or whatever, send it. and then yeah, we don't. Not interested in paid newsletters.
Okay, so I went to resource directory. I think we were on unit 7 maybe. Family newsletters. We're looking at the English version. Instead of clicking add to assignment, you want to see it, print it, whatever.
Oh,
And there you go. Okay? So you can do whatever you want to do with it.
What is the level C?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
is level C the level that they're reading it? With the- It said unit 7, level C. There it is.
Oh, that's a nice level.
Is that second
K
grade?
1, 2.
That's what I'm thinking. Instead of putting
A,
second grade. Yeah, so parents will probably ask you about that. Right. You're right.
My child's reading it
Exactly, you're gonna get those questions, because since you guys do DRA and all that. Okay, so, let's see what else we can click on here. Okay, e-visuals.
Oh.
Well, the MP3s are the same thing, that song I already clicked on. They're the same thing. So I'm gonna click on e-visual. You notice often in there you had those e-visuals, especially in the grammar. So all they are, I'm gonna show you, it'll be a few sentences about whatever grammatical skill you're working on. So again, I click, I'm not gonna add it to my assignment, download, and there it is. So you don't have to write any of that stuff down, you don't have to retype like we often do, it's just there for you. Does that make sense? Okay. So also your decodable practice texts, we talked about, I said you can print them from online, it's a little better than printing from that book. If you want to go and print them now, if you have someone that mass copies your stuff, that would be great. I know we have parents that do that at our school, they fold everything and do it all. So there you go, they print, they're user-friendly, notice how the page numbers are all mixed, that's because they've thought ahead. And when you fold and all that, they're great. Okay, so these are, so think about it, you have your read on your own decodable, which is 2 phonics stories, plus a third one, which is another phonics story. And if you look, if you want to make a copy of it for everyone. Right. I would use it. Now I'm going to click on that again. Look here. 7.2 is week 2. Look at all those you have. You have all these for 4 weeks. So you have lots of choices. Okay? Some people ask, well, where do I find the practice masters? Where are the worksheets at? Here they are. So let's look at topic and main idea. Easy breezy. There you go. Again, you can write on it, you can print it. You can use that poster machine that you have somewhere at some school and make a big poster of it, laminate it, use it from year to year. I mean, this is, like I said, I've been on many, many different reading company websites. This one is easy. Some of them are really confusing and you're like up there teaching a lesson, trying to look, but this is so easy. Okay. Assessments. Well, let me see if there's anything else here to kind of click on. phonics games, vocabulary games. You can use these for literacy stations. And again, bingo practice master is just a blank bingo sheet. There must be a game for that unit. I'm just gonna click on phonics games just to give you an idea of what they are. Here are all the games to choose from. It's awesome. So again, you don't have to go on ABCya. You guys know that website, right? abcya.com.
Yeah.
You don't have to go there. You don't have to go to Starfall and look. You don't have to go to all these different places and look.
Click on one of these, click on
So
one of these.
let's click on that. Now you can preview it. I don't know if you get to play it when you're previewing, we'll see. Now they're not, super exciting, but let's do letter, fill in the blank, I have no idea what that
Yeah,
is.
but they're on task. And that's
Right,
what we
and it's
need.
on the right skill.
Yep, that's what we need.
letters to the word. Click the speaker icon to hear the word. Click this button when you are done.
Drag the letters to
And see how it said owl when I touched it?
Excellent.
You know what they always say?
See how I didn't hear it?
Pick the wrong one.
Oh, click when done, sorry. Nearly, but not quite. At least it did go, right, I hate when that was too
Yeah,
fast.
then the overachievers never want to because their
Yeah.
scores.
Yeah, that would be funny. How embarrassing. Try again. Okay, good? Okay. So, and the vocabulary games look basically the same. They're set up, kind of the same deal. The format is the same, just different things.
Right.
Okay, let's see what else we have here. Say that again?
Is this where, so that phonics game would be a great thing for a station. Is this where the kids would individually log in on their own then? Or
That I don't know, I don't know if this is something that you could, cause you can do it, on your tablets, you can do, put in a website, make that an icon.
Oh, that's the part.
So we take them right to it.
They're taken right to it, but I don't know
I don't think the
if
town
you'd
is a
have,
game.
I don't know if you have
So it
to,
might be-
if you hit it, do you have to log in? Or would it
Well,
just go right there? It's just,
Well, if it's individual student, then you would have to re-log in each time because it's a different student.
Or you could teach a
If
couple
they
Do
just
they
wanted
keep
to
track?
play without saving anything?
others that could do it. Maybe they could be the ones who log in regardless.
Thing.
Right.
You're not saving it for any information at that time.
Responsibility.
What I would do as a teacher is log them all in the morning or hit save the login and just use any comparison.
So
You
if
know
we
what I
made a
mean?
shortcut to get to the
Yeah.
phonics games.
yeah,
Or even like,
yeah.
right, you can do something. Or you can go ahead and assign it. You can assign it, so when they go under their individual name,
Right.
and that would maybe come eventually, because you wanna go through all the time trying to, for them to try to log in and everything. I guess you have to wait, is it worth it? I don't know.
Need an audio splitter? That's what I'm saying.
Well, but we're gonna do tests, so they will still need it.
And we don't have to make their password like,
Hard.
Dan.Olberg@ISD4. It could be an easy password.
We still only have 3 fingers, right?
Are we getting more travel?
My goal is to get
So,
6, and Beth is looking into a type of tablet.
if we look down
I'm
here,
gonna play with and see, but it's 6 per person,
And let's see
per
if we
class.
can agree on what we
there
think the
are
password
the
should be
rubrics
today.
that I was talking
I
about.
think it
You
should
just
still
kind
be
of
Tiger's lunch number.
click
because it's the
around.
password for so
There's
many
some
other
different
things.
rubrics.
For second grade, that way it's like you log into, so you might have to log into type to learn, reach for readings.
It is a lot of information.
Don't you think?
So
Just need the
If I'm
same.
really stumped, I'd like.
I know it's
Yeah.
gonna take a longer time
Okay,
initially.
so I want to talk about assessments. Do you typically do a Friday reading assessment? Is that,
No, we have exit slips that we've written to address the state standards
okay, do you
in
plan
second
on
grade.
assessing? Or is that staying the same?
What are we doing?
We talked
We-
about using these.
Yeah, this is gonna be something we work through this year. I mean,
Okay.
I can't
When we
Speak
did
to
the
that, yeah,
pacing
okay,
guide-
that's fine.
But,
So,
We did the pacing guide, that was another thing we did not do,
yeah,
weekly assessment.
okay, and you don't have to, as long as you're doing something to monitor
Right.
progression. You don't have to use these, just know that they're here. There's tons, so,
What's that standards correlation? Underneath complexity.
exactly what it,
That's what it.
Yep.
So then click on.
but when you do your lesson plans, it's all on there, the Common Core. Right, unfortunately, yeah, it's not gonna.
can we see what an assessment looks like?
Yes, that's what I was just gonna do. So, first of all, and I'll just briefly tell you, and that might help you decide, you know, as you're moving forward with what you wanna do. There are benchmark assessments. So, those are 3 times a year, beginning, middle, and end. They call them A, B, and C. They're long. They're extended, difficult text with questions. So I'll click on one of them.
Well,
Yeah.
Do they take it on a computer or is it pencil, paper, pencil?
It can be either or. So
I
just,
mean, we will probably stay with a reading for now.
it's
know.
90 pages.
Wow.
Okay.
It's more than one form.
How many
This
stories?
is just Form A.
Okay, so there's one. Now, remember, you can use these as something else too,
You
right?
could use it as
Teachable,
part of it.
practice, or whatever. Okay, you can just use one passage. So that's one, more questions still. 2, 3,
Just challenge them to write 19 pages.
4, writing. A little writing with some fixer-uppers, right? Look a little familiar, the formatting of all this? Okay, this is write a short report, blah, 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 so it also has the writing. Now, as I heard some of you saying, you might not use this as a test, but you can use it as test prep or just practice doing, because unfortunately, if you're not testing, which is fine, they're gonna have to take the end of the year test in 3rd grade. So they have to have some preparation for that. So there's an A, a B, and a C, beginning, middle, and end of the year.
Do you use these?
No. We use other things.
Just curious.
Now, I don't know if 3rd grade does, but I'm only in a K2 building.
Did you say that there was a weekly test on,
So then there's a weekly test.
okay, so
So,
you see what that
yep,
looks like?
so now we'll take a peek at that. Hold on, I have to find it, I'm a little blind sometimes. Was it up?
Mm-hmm, it's up.
Oops.
It's under the units, isn't it?
Assessment master.
Oh, yeah, sorry, thank you. Forgive me for my blindness. Okay, so let's just look at week 1 first, just to give you an idea. Now, they have them broken up. Really, it's one test. But I think they do it that way because I think some people have requested maybe only take a section. So they broke it up like this. So we'll look at the reading. And they're really good tests, I think. Hippo and the riverfish. I mean, who wouldn't want to read that? I want to read it right now. That the fish swam into his mouth. What is the fish's view? There we go.
So does your school use
Well, you won't have to correct them if you decide, because you have online capability, which they will test and they will score and spit you out a report.
So does your school use that?
So, we don't have the e-assessment, but we do use the weekly, yes.
In a computer lab.
You can, yes.
So the way the comprehension works, if I'm looking at it, it's
Yes.
not like a unit focuses on a comprehension strategy or skill, it's like a specific story or a specific
Oh,
thing
no,
that
it's
you're
a
doing
strategy or skill
per unit?
per week.
But like within 1 week, you're teaching a couple different things. And
Yes.
then it goes back and then, but it's not like this comprehension test is gonna be assessing.
It'll be a direct
Sequence.
correlation of what you taught. Mhm. Yeah, and sequencing is, yeah, it'll show up. Mhm.
So it just looked like, looking at the map, that it focused on a bunch of different comprehension strategies.
It will be
Nice.
different ones, but it'll be ones that you have covered. And remember, I'm in Unit 7. But it will be, you'll see direct tie-ins of what
So
you
it's
were
like
working
during
on.
Unit 1, you're kind of talking about a specific,
Maybe 2 things.
okay.
Mhm. Yeah, well, on weeks.
Could you please
Each
show us
week
the
will
oral
build
reading?
upon the other. Say that again?
Could you please show us the oral reading assessment?
So one,
Yes.
talking about something related to.
Can I go here first and finish this?
For sure.
Okay, so that's vocabulary, or this is vocabulary. Okay?
So I have a question, if you're doing this vocabulary, you're giving this to kids, and it's an assessment, will you help them with any of those words?
Isn't that always the question? It's always the question, and nobody has an answer for that. There's not a right answer.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
We go through that.
Read that.
Right, every building I'm in, we have the same argument, and I never found an answer yet to that. You can argue both sides of that, and when you look at a lot of the research, you can argue all sides of that. You know, of course, the biggest argument is, well, if we're testing comprehension, they can't read it, but if I read it to them, am I testing comprehension? Yes, but it's listening comprehension. It's really not their reading comprehension. Reading comprehension can only be tested if they're reading. So, you know, I know I've got, you know, those little babies that can't read it, it's hard. And then the vocabulary, same kind of thing. It's their oral vocabulary, but if they can't read it in text, then who's that helping? So I don't have an answer. I'm not going to give you an answer. Because it's the same question everywhere, and nobody knows the answer. And you'll have, what I find is we have teachers in the same school that will read the test to them, and then other teachers don't read the test. So this teacher, her kid has Fs, and this teacher has As, but I know he can't read. How does he have an A? And she has an F, and it's a big controversial issue. A lot of teachers now, I will say, if you can they take it first, score it, and then take it a second time after you've read it to them. Now, in first grade, I would do a gradual release model if you decided to test, because you haven't given this kind of a thing before. So I would slowly ease them into it, and even second if you decided to go that route, because they're not used to this. Yeah, sorry, I wish I could give you an answer.
Are those, just those vocabulary tests, are they considered to be at a second grade level?
Mm-hmm.
So the words really,
They should be able,
they should be able to read.
they should be able to read it. Yep, that's the theory, of course.
And with the picture cues, would that help?
Maybe. And then there's just a little, you know, writing sort of grammar kind of thing. And then I do like, if you read that bottom question, there is an open-ended, and that would be something that you had been working on. Okay?
Can you show us the unit test before we do the oral reading?
Yes. Okay, so the unit test. Now this is just the comprehension part. So that's one story. Two stories. Three stories. So I know you're like, OMG, but this is what's expected. When they get to third grade and their test is, whew, have you guys seen that test? So it's,
Okay, so I'm sorry that I keep interrupting.
It's okay.
So if you use this test,
Mhm.
when exactly do you give this test? Because you're on a 5-day plan for teaching, does it tell you? Test here. I mean, I haven't looked far enough in it, but does it tell you that?
Send home.
It's every Friday.
It's a goal.
It's homework on Friday.
And Friday's your review day.
They'll give you time to do it on Friday. Now, the unit test is a different story.
And you just have to figure out, but it's Saturday's school.
Saturday school would be the best.
In lieu of our spelling test, you're taking.
I say we eliminate that from the.
Yeah. Okay, what did someone say? The oral reading? Okay, so if you choose to do oral reading assessments, you've probably seen these before. Okay, so this is, you time for a minute, you guys
Yes.
dibble, dabble, IRI, you know the drill. It's the same thing as all the other oral assessments. You
Is
stick
there
the,
another page?
I'm working on that, yep. You stick the timer on for a minute.
There.
This is the teacher copy. Now, I think you need to have an oral reading fluency score for students. I don't know if you do currently. Okay, so you do, so you probably won't even need this, but if you use this, I would laminate that baby, put it in a 3-ring binder. The student copy. I would have in a 3-ring binder. I would have copies of this. So when they read, you just open up that binder and they read from that plastic copy inside of a sleeve.
Is it one per unit?
Is it one per, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so here you would write down anything that you noticed. Here is how you score it. Notice the stress on the fluency. This is important, right here. A lot of these tests, I don't know what you give and how you do it. If you have this, this is important to know in a fluency score. You need to know why they're low. Or you need to know, whew, they are so fast, but they don't understand a darn thing. Maybe because they're phrasing wrong. So this is really important. And then, of course, there's a retell. So basically, this is, this is like a Dipples. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, does that help?
We don't do comprehension on it.
You don't do the retell on the Dipples?
We just do it at and you do fast too.
Yeah, we have fast is comprehension.
And fast does comprehension also.
Okay.
And it calculates it all for you.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the home screen. So you see where you find, this is the greatest tab. The resource tab is the best because you don't really have to go anywhere else because everything is here. So I would just go there, other than your lesson plan. Now, comprehension coach. I'm going to briefly tell you about it, and then I'm going to show you a clip. Where is it?
I found a resource.
Yeah. Well, first I'm going to tell you about it. So, comprehension coach is this. I've worked with other programs similar to this. Basically, it is a program. Number one, it has books. The students on their own, under their own login. One choice is that they can read the story with headsets and a mic. Okay? I know, this is amazing.
Is this on a computer, or is this on an iPad?
Well, I guess it depends. I mean, you could probably do it on an iPad. I'm used to it on a computer. But I guess you could, as long as you have the capability of a mic. And your tech people will or will not figure this out. And you might want to do it in. This is a lot. But if you have it, if it works, because you know how computers are, right? I've been in some of the best districts, and their computer, like, it doesn't work. Like, it's good if it works. You know, you're standing there trying to teach, and you're like, I got nothing. So if you have headphones with a mic, so imagine there's a book or text or something in front of them. and it'll say, click here to start to read. And the student literally reads. It records them. Okay? Stop. They have to click stop. Couple of things. Number one, it will save their score for you and record their mistakes and things like that. Secondly, they can play it back and listen to themselves read. And they can hear what it sounds like. That's comprehension code. The second choice is read a story, same story, and there will be questions embedded within it. If they get them wrong, it will, well, you got me an idea wrong. Well, I won't say wrong, this is some positive thing. And it will guide them into the correct answer and how to get there. So it's kind of cool. But again, you have to have the technology, you have to, it has to be working. But what a great center, right? And if you have a lab, you could go in there. I wouldn't do side by side because I think it's confusing. I've been in labs where his work, though, I have to say. Not this particular program, but one where they record themselves. And it wasn't distracting. It just depends on how good your mics are and all of that. But I've done it before where I've had every other kid recording themselves, and then the ones in between are doing some kind of phonics games or something. If they're distractible with the person beside them reading. Just depends on your kids, So I'm going to show you a clip on the comprehension coach. So if you come down here,
I don't have mics.
professional development. This is great because it has the research and best practices here, all this good stuff. This is where I got the close reading from that wasn't included. Some other things here. The on-demand training is where I'm going to go. So this just has, like, I don't know what to do, I'm so lost, what should I do? So we're going to look at the comprehension coach. Oh, you know what, I am going to need sound. Ooh, I forgot about that. Is there a way I can... Do you think, I don't know if I turn it up all the way. If we can all be really quiet.
Here, hold on, Naomi's gonna get a Sony mic. A geyser.
Welcome to a tour of National Geographic's Reach for Reading Comprehension Coach on myngconnect.com. myngconnect.com is your one-stop portal for all online resources available to both students.
Testing 1, 2, 3, check.
As we spend time today focusing on the comprehension coach, we are going to look at this through the eyes of the teacher or for educators. Log into your account with your credentials from National Geographic Learning so that you can access your resources. Once you get to your resources, you will be able to view Comprehension Coach if you purchase that item with your materials from National Geographic Learning. Today we are going to be using grade 3 to access the Comprehension Coach. Once you click on your student book for grade 3, this is what will appear on your screen. You'll notice above the student book several icons. Our focus today will be strictly on the mouse icon, which activates the Comprehension Coach. Once you activate that link or that button, your screen will look like this. There are several things before we actually open a selection that I'd like to point out to you. To the far right of the screen, you'll notice a red button that says Quit Coach. If ever you are in Comprehension Coach and want to end that session, click that red button. You'll also notice a note that says all data will be cleared after you sign out. This is because I am looking at this as the teacher, not the student in a demo account. All data is saved when the student is actually doing the recording in his or her account. Not to worry.
They won't lose
You'll
any of their
also
stuff.
notice the Help Me video. This tutorial gives you an overview of Comprehension Coach, but you can find even more support through that Help Me video. You'll notice the top line that says Unit, Selection Titles, Reading Progress, Question Progress, Reading Report, Words Correct per Minute Earned and the Goal, and the Geo Points Earned and the Goal. This information will be consistent throughout the Comprehension Coach. At the very bottom of your screen, you'll notice a key code. Those items for which students have read correctly, as well as those items indicating what the student has or has not completed. We are going to be using the selection of those shoes as we move through this demo. So I'm going to start by clicking the selection for those shoes. Once I click that selection, the selection will actually open and prompt me with this screen. It indicates to answer questions while you read, click the red Q. To practice reading aloud, click record, and you will see both aspects of Comprehension Coach throughout this demonstration. The support for comprehension questions, as well as the support for recording with student voices. Once students enter the Comprehension Coach, they can either answer questions or they will be able to record their own voices through Comprehension Coach, and again, quit when they are ready. As we look at the question portion of the Comprehension Coach, students will click the red Q, and there will be new questions provided to them to respond to. They can listen to the question being read to them or read it on their own, as well as the directions. This question has 4 options. Let's choose an option. Correct. Students are given immediate feedback as to the response they have chosen. Had the student chosen one of the incorrect responses, there would have been an opportunity for students to go back into the selection and answer the question again. Let's take a look at another question. As we locate that red box with a white Q, there are additional questions. This time, let's see how the student responds to this question. Who's the only person not laughing when Jeremy comes to the classroom in cartoon animal shoes? We'll choose Brandon. Sorry, please try again. Students are prompted to go back into the selection and try answering the question again. This gives students an opportunity to use the text to respond to this question. And here we see the better answer the student might be able to use. Correct. Since the student was prompted, he will receive fewer points for this particular question.
And you can do competitions in your room with the Geo points. You're able to go in and look at how many points students
Now that you
receive.
can see the opportunity for students to answer comprehension questions, let's take a look at the feature where students are actually going to be able to record their voices. This is an excellent opportunity for students to practice fluency in reading the selections you have decided for them to read.
Do you have to use the
When students click on the record,
No?
they will have the opportunity first to check their microphone. It is recommended that your students use headsets with a microphone in order to secure the best recording. Once they've done this, they will be prompted to go through a small exercise to ensure the device is connected correctly. After students count to 10 and hit the next, they will then hear themselves counting within the system. Students can play that information back to assure everything is working correctly. If everything is working correctly, they will receive this prompt and be able to do their recording.
And the kids can actually do this themselves. I've seen this in first grade, second grade. I don't think I've ever seen it in kindergarten. I don't even think it's available in kindergarten. But it seems like a lot, they can do that whole mic check all on their own. They like doing it.
3, 2, 1. Students are prompted to start reading here out in the beat. Click next when you are done. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops, 2 white strips. Grandma, I want them. There's no room for want around here, Grandma says. What you need are new boots for winter. They will be prompted to continue. Brandon T. comes to school in those shoes. He says he's the fastest runner now, not me. I was always the fastest runner before those shoes came along. Next, Alan Jacoby and Terrence each get a pair. And now that the student has finished this, you see a reading report and a word practice report that is available for students to view. Within those reports, there are several things that you, the teacher, will find. When you click on the reading report, you will see all of the information gathered from this student's recording. In the reading report, there is a color key that lets you, the teacher, know words the student had trouble with or did not read correctly,
See the key on the left.
words they pronounced correctly, and words that were not recorded. You also will see the opportunity to check for comprehension with what the student did as it relates to those comprehension questions. This particular student finished answering the comprehension questions, and if you recall, they missed one of those questions, so they received 34 out of the 35 points available. The student also, while recording their voices in reading, was able to read 60 words correct per minute, and for their grade level, we see they should be reading about 92 words correct per minute. You, the teacher, at any point in time, could listen to that student's actual reading of the passage that they have just recorded. As far as the word practice report that is available, any words that the student had difficulty with will appear in this list.
I love that part of
When the
it.
student clicks on one of those words, they will be able to do several things. First, they can listen to the word being pronounced correctly. They then will be able to practice saying the word correctly themselves and record themselves using that word. And finally, they are able to listen and rate their own recording of that word. So the feedback for students is going to be automatic, and they can listen and re-record as often or as much as they feel they need to do so. Once the student has completed all of the reading and all of the comprehension questions, you, the teacher, will see this report on your login for MyMG Connect. You see the students' reading progress, that they've completed everything, they've answered all of the questions, and we've just seen that reading report. You also see information relative to how the students scored. And remember, at the bottom of this page is a key code indicating to you what all of those things mean. We hope that this information has been beneficial to you in introducing you to the Comprehension Coach. We look forward to working with you again soon.
Try escape.
Okay. Makes sense? Now I know you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that automatically, but there are 2 stories per unit that you have access to. So the students would go into their login, it's easy breezy. When you first, now of course, same thing goes, just like for literacy stations. You have to start slow in showing them how to do it. But after they do it, I would say first grade, 3 times, they're good to go. Second grade, I mean, they've probably never done anything like this 2 or 3 times. And they really understand how to do that mic check. It will ding inside their ears, ding. It'll say count to 10, and they literally count to 10, and they could hear themselves talking. So then it says, is your mic okay? They click okay. It's only those 2 options, read and answer questions or read and record. But you see all of the useful information that they get. And I think those are great for parent conferences. You want to listen to your child read? Right? Here we go. Let's listen. You know, and this is unlike, I only know a few programs that really do this. Make sense?
How often do you do that again?
There are 2 per unit.
Per unit, so 2 per unit is 4 weeks.
Yes, and a unit's 4 weeks. Yep.
And you can do it in a computer line. Cause like a lot of us only have, like I.
Right, you don't have so many computers in your room.
I don't
Right.
have any.
And again, you know, this is your first year, so don't, I mean, you don't have to do everything your first year. But this is available, and you might even say, is there one person in our grade level that can try this out and figure it out, work out the kinks? Who's, you know, who's techie, who's willing to do it? And then they could have those students teach your students. You know, it can be a gradual release model. It doesn't have to be everybody go do this and figure everything out. But the reports are really cool. I love that it prints the words that they missed, because you can go over those words. Okay, so e-assessment then. Do you want to just kind of not do that yet? And wait until you figure, it's just, they take them online, the tests, the weekly. So I say we just wait on that.
Yeah, the things that you were showing us, is just the online
They could
version.
do it, it's just the online version. It looks exactly like the test. It has the text and the question, that's what the kids will see. I want to show you the
I think we can
books.
figure that out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is the last thing that I want, I'm on speaker now, aren't I? The last thing that I want to show you that you'll need to know. So here are the language songbook, this is the phonics songbook. So whenever you think book, I'm going to close this out and show you where it was again. You click here, teacher and student editions. So anything books, go there. So student book is exactly, do you have anything available online right now that you do with student books or anything? No? Okay. So you'll be like, wow. So you can turn the pages, okay? Again, whoops, I clicked on that. Again, you have the smart board capability to write on them and do all those good things. You can just go here and of course type in the page. I don't know, let's see what's on page 45. There we go. Okay, so there's page 45, it's the story. And it will read it to you if you want. You notice words are highlighted, those
A
are
place to
vocabulary.
A home can be a place for one family.
Get the idea?
If you click on the highlighted word, does it?
No. Okay, and down here it has, you know, some little cheating questions for you. Also in the anthology, remember there are some like student pages. So those pages are here. So if there's anything that you want to project for that, just pull them up right here. Instead of, you know, trying to find them through your whatever, you just pull them up here.
So that is any page in the anthology.